Svana took up the scroll and wound the wooden spools to read. Environment. Nurture. Application. Externalities of behavior. Self-awareness. In the context of objective manifestation, self-awareness requires not only an understanding of the self in isolation, but also an understanding of the self in the context of environment. The child must learn that every action supports an array of interests, undermines an array of interests, and is functionally irrelevant to another array of interests. The interests that actions affect, whether to support or undermine, exist not only in the present, but also in the future. Further, the interests that actions affect, whether to support or undermine, exist not only in the proximate, but also in the removed. In both cases, where the actions are mirrored by those of others within the environment, an exponential effect may arise, both spatially and temporally. In the extreme, this effect can consist of the removal of entire species of organism through extinction, or the entire breakdown of ecosystems required by countless organisms to live. In the less extreme, it can mean a material difference in the characteristics of the environment into which progeny grows. This material difference can be to the objective benefit or the objective detriment of the progeny in question. Self-awareness requires knowledge of potential strength and potential weakness. It requires pride in the development of strength, humility in the recognition of weakness. It requires recognition of the individual as both a macro and micro aspect within its environment. It requires appreciation of all that is at the mercy of a given decision. It requires a simultaneous recognition of the individual's own insignificance. The development of self-awareness beyond this objective is the development of rational reflective awareness. It is a recognition for the potential for harm and the bolstering of the potential for benefit through pursuit of objective intent. Any cost created but not borne, instead made latent, will be borne by progeny. The individual must govern himself. The child must be raised such that upon its maturity the society should not need rules. The rational adult guided by principle also has no need of rules. Rules are for the management of those that are unable to manage themselves. Where the adults of a society cannot govern themselves, the society already suffers. In this case, the society has lost touch with its recognition of expanded temporal scope. The adults have become children, or the children never grew into adults, except in their apparent physical form. The society continues, it falters on, thinking it manages its risk through its rules, all the while building cost in the friction, building pressure in the growing difference that results from the development of manipulation rooted in the subjective intent of those who happen to hold power. The society collapses when the costs accrue, when the weather changes, when the neighbor sees the weakness in the corrosion of the society's infrastructure, corrosion unnoticed to the society itself, blind as it is in its childlike state to all but the decreasing present, to all but the decreasing immediate, to all but its rigorously protected decreasing sense of itself as the center of the universe.